you know, there have been a lot of changes on my channel. Okay, I went from MC Subliminals, it was actually my full name, which I'm not going to say, I mean, a lot of you know my first name anyway, but it went from my full name to MC Subliminals to Angel Subliminals to Angel Therapy. Okay, it's going to stay that way, it's not going to change, I can assure you that, but my plan really was to get it to Angel Therapy. In the first place, it's just been a really hard couple of years, 3 years exactly, because Saturn really has been in Capricorn. And when Saturn is in Capricorn, the energy is really restrictive, it's very limiting. If you've got a lot of Capricorn in your chart, you know, chances are you've not done too badly. But for people who have a lot of Aquarius in their chart, which I do, I'm an Aquarius ascending, and I have it in my Neptune, and I think one of my other planets, it's just been so difficult, so I've not been able to really execute and do the things that I really wanted to do, and this is actually one of them. It's not just subliminals, because subliminals does augment our life, it does improve our life, but it's also self-development in general. It's like, how can we improve ourselves? Okay, whether it's to do with the mind, okay, whether it's to do with the appearance. Okay, I don't really focus much on that, as you guys know, just because I'm not interested in it. I mean, if it is some sort of deficiency, or if someone's insecure about something, then yeah, you know, I'll probably make a video about it. Like, you know, a lot of insecurities stem from, for example, height. But people just use it really for beauty or whatever, and I just find that kind of superficial, and it's not really why I'm here. I've not come on this planet, I've not been put here to do that, I don't feel anyway. Not that I'm like bashing it or anything like that, but I want to heal people. That's the purpose that I've come here for. So I've gone through a lot of different changes, and I've done subliminals. I've put one video out there on magic. I didn't really have the quality of video that I have now, because my video camera just broke spontaneously. Okay, there's a lot of weird energies going on at the moment. Okay, if you're a slider as well, if you have the effect of a slider, you'll just affect a lot of the electronics around you, and that's just something that I've always been able to do. Like my lights, for example, I've always been able to like blow them, or just anything. Something's always malfunctioned electronically around me. So this is the reason why the videos have been a little bit rubbish recently in terms of quality, and I think someone actually did comment on one of my videos when I was going on about plasma subliminals, how rubbish the quality was. But it's one of those things, we're back to decent quality, we're back to something you can actually tolerate to look at. So where was I? Because I tangent. That's it, yeah. So my channel is going in so many different places, but it will always be on self-development and improving yourself. And one of the things that a lot of people are interested in is intelligence, okay? Because intelligence is normally seen as something that's static. Okay, you're born with the IQ that you have, and you can't improve it at all, and that's wrong. It's completely wrong. And in fact, neuroplasticity has proven that that is just completely balmy. It doesn't exist. You can, of course, improve your intelligence. There are really two factors that are influencing intelligence, and one of them is trauma, and the other is how well knitted your brain parts are, which sounds really confusing, okay, but I wanted to put it in basic terms, and I'll probably dive into both of these topics today in this video, and I'll probably talk about the latter first. So when I'm talking about the brain being knitted together, what I'm actually trying to say is the left and the right hemisphere essentially work together in order to do certain things in your life, in order for you to operate normally on a day-to-day basis with your environment and with other people. And so your left hemisphere is where the logical side of the brain is. It's the words, it's computations, it's your ability to just figure things out. Whereas the right side of the brain is more artistic, more creative side of the brain. And these two really work in conjunction. And it's really imperative that they can actually work seamlessly, because if they can, it means that your life will be very, very easy. So you're either more of a left brain thinker, more of a right brain thinker, and there are loads of tests you can do in life to work that out. But at the end of the day, you want to be a whole brain thinker. This is what the great scientists like Einstein were, Tesla were. They were whole brain thinkers because they used the two sides of the brain at the same time. So how is it that we get these two sides of the brain to just function together? How is it that we get those two sides of the brain to work together at the same time as well? Because normally you're just in like one space or the other, but if you use both of them, then it just means that you're actually using the conscious mind and also the subconscious mind. Because yes, your conscious mind is your left hemisphere, and your subconscious mind is your right hemisphere. The conscious mind structures things, the subconscious mind doesn't, but it's where all your memories are. We're talking about the right hemisphere here. All your memories are, emotions, creativity, ideas, just everything. And you want that part of the brain, those ideas, okay, to be formed into reality. And the conscious mind is that. It's the vehicle, really, for the subconscious mind. It gets all the stuff that you've been thinking, all your desires, into reality. So we want to make sure these two parts of the brain are really functioning well together. And there's a technique you can actually do when it comes to that in order for you to strengthen it. So let's just talk basic anatomy. Between the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, there is something called the corpus callosum, which is a band of muscle which connects the two hemispheres. There's a technique you can actually do to strengthen this. And if you do it, I do it for about 10 minutes every day. When I really want to get a breakthrough, or I just want to feel more creative, for example, or I want to be more verbose as well, because sometimes I forget a word, what is it? And it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember it. And that's because my hemispheres are out of whack, they're not in sync. So if you actually do this technique, you will probably not have many memory problems either. In fact, it'll just become non-existent unless you've got some sort of condition, or you're taking some sort of medication that's actually hampering your ability to remember something, or you're just very stressed as well, because when you're very stressed, your brain goes into this state of beta, right? And so you can't really access the subconscious mind that much, because the subconscious mind works on alpha. And especially when you're manifesting as well, you need to be in a state of alpha. But anyway, before a tangent again, so you need to unite those two hemispheres. And the technique is called something called image streaming. Image streaming is when you say something that's the left brain uses, okay, and you visualize really what the right brain would say. So the way that it works, it's really, really difficult to put this into words because it's something that you have to do. But what you do, and I do this with my eyes open because I'm used to it now. And the eyes open version is a very advanced form of doing it. But initially, when you're just doing it, you close your eyes, okay? And some people will see images or just something pop into view, okay? And you might just see a colour or a line or whatever you see, okay, in your mind's eye or in your head, you describe. And you describe as much rich sensory detail as possible using the five senses. So what can you see? So obviously sight. What can you hear? Are there any sounds? What can you feel? So can you touch it? What does it feel like? What can you smell? Obviously what the scents, are there any aromas? All that sort of stuff. So just all the five senses. I'm trying to think if I'm missing one out now. Sight, hearing, touch, smell, taste. There we go, taste. So, a lot of the impressions you get in your mind, you won't be able to taste anything. But is there something in your head for example, you might see food. So, what's the taste? But use as much detail as possible to describe this. And when you're describing it, okay, say it aloud. Because when you're saying it aloud, you're actually engaging your left hemisphere as well, which is the logical side. It's the word side of it. So it's words with images. Okay, and this is why writers are so clever as well, because they're always engaging in that process of strengthening the corpus callosum with their imagination and also their logic. But if you do it this way, in terms of like what you see in your mind's eye, you're actually like doing it to like such an intense degree. It's like exercising that muscle in your brain that writers would exercise, but 10 times. It's just much more powerful. So if you do that, and I'd recommend doing it for like 10 minutes to start off with, for about a week, and then do it for 20 minutes the next week. Okay, ideally you want to be doing it like for an hour a day, but give your brain some rest. An hour a day is for the really advanced form of image streaming, because if you do it for an hour a day, your IQ goes up by 1 point. Okay, and that might seem really small, but if you think about the average IQ is 100, that's a lot. I think like in 100 days you could double your IQ. That's just crazy. I mean, I don't know what my IQ used to be, right, but I know I did an IQ test very recently, and it was like 132. So, you know, that's pretty high. So you want to be doing this every day. I'd say do it for 2 days, give yourself a rest, and then do it for 2 days, give yourself a rest, because it's incredibly taxing on the brain. And the way you'll actually notice it working as well is when you're actually having dreams, they'll be so vivid, like crazy vivid. And when I did it for an hour non-stop, I just remembered every single detail, and I remember telling one of my friends, like, you have no idea what I went through, you know, with the dream. There was this whole process, this whole stream, and it just went on and on and on and on and on, because I could just recall every single facet, every single iota of detail about that dream, because that's how advanced the brain gets when you're strengthening the two hemispheres. As well, this technique also activates the pineal gland. So a lot of people, whilst doing the technique image streaming, have noticed their psychic abilities improve. So what I've noticed as well is my telepathy has gotten so much stronger, especially with my twin flame, because I can always feel him thinking about me. Or I can always feel when people who I'm quite connected to are thinking about me in a weird kind of way. And I'll get into this in probably a later video when it comes to telepathy. I don't want to dive in too deeply right now, but essentially you either are a receiver or a transmitter when it comes to how telepathic you are. And I'm a transmitter, meaning that I'm stronger at sending things to other people. So if I'll be thinking of someone, they'll just like phone me instantly, because that's how strong my telepathic abilities have become. So it really enhances that. And also your clairsentience, your ability to kind of like feel energy, also to know stuff. You know stuff, you can't understand how you know stuff, but it's because it works on your claircognizance, which is right here. So there's so many advantages to this technique, but if you do it for an hour every day, you will go up by about a point. But you don't really need to be doing that realistically. As long as you do it for about 10 minutes every day, you just find some time, to sit aside and just describe in as much rich detail what it is that you're seeing. Then you'll find your IQ will go up. As well, when you're also picturing something in your mind, okay, if another picture comes into the picture, if you get another picture that comes into your mind, discard the other one and describe that one. You want to go through as many different pictures as you possibly can, okay, this is just something so you know you're actually doing it right. So let's say I was seeing a pink elephant, right, and then I saw a shark. I'd go on to describing the shark, and let's say I saw a table, and then I described the table, and let's say I saw a beach, and I described the beach. And that's actually what my mind's process is going through right now. It's a reel. This is why it's called image streaming, because you're just streaming pictures in your mind. But you wouldn't just say, oh, I see this, I see that. You'd have to describe it. So you'd say, okay, I see a pink elephant, it's large, it sort of towers over me. I'm trying to think what else. It's got really sort of cracked skin as well, from what I'm seeing at the moment. And I reach out and I touch the elephant, and I feel how warm it is. And I can smell grass as well, like grassy plains. And you might actually discover as well when you're doing the whole process, I can smell grassy plains, and then you might actually see grassy plains as well. because sometimes like, the senses come in and out at different times. So you actually might smell something before you perceive it, before you see it with your sight. So it's a really fascinating technique. So if you want to increase your intelligence, do this 10 minutes every single day, okay, and just watch like massive amount of results come in. Your ability to just communicate seamlessly with people will just be there. Your memory will just go skyrocket up. And watch out for a lot of amazing results. So just a video really to help you with your intelligence, and I wish you best of day.